Okay, hello everybody, welcome back to science. Today we are going to be looking at homeostasis. So to start off with, have a go at this remember task, linking back to the last lesson. Why is the pituitary gland often known as the master gland of the endocrine system? Pause the video, take a few minutes, come back for the answer. Okay, welcome back. Okay, so why is it known as the master gland? So the pituitary gland is a small gland which is in your brain, and it controls many of the different body processes that happen inside your body. It controls the secretions of other glands in your endocrine system, and it produces many different hormones which actually give it that control. It's called the master gland because the other endocrine glands rely on it to function. That's why it's called master gland. Okay, so moving on with homeostasis. So, homeostasis is referring to the balance of the conditions inside your body. The conditions inside your body are going to be called the internal environment. The processes aim to keep everything as constant as possible and keep everything in a good working order. Your organs aren't going to be able to work properly if your internal environment is constantly changing. So the definition of homeostasis is the balancing of your internal environment. And it would be a good idea to write that last bullet point down, the actual definition of homeostasis. So if you need to pause the video to give yourself time to write it, then do so. But moving on. So the internal conditions that homeostasis control include your body temperature, your body water content, and your blood glucose concentration. It's very important to remember these three things. This is what homeostasis controls and maintains. Okay, so for your first task, simply what is homeostasis? And then for your second task, homeostasis controls the water content of the blood. I need you to give me the other two conditions that controls by homeostasis. So give yourself about 3 minutes. These aren't going to take very long at all. And then come back for the answers. Okay, let's go. So, a good definition for homeostasis would be this: the regulation of the conditions inside the body, or to maintain a stable internal environment in response to changes in both internal and external conditions. So, any kind of definition which says the maintenance of the internal conditions of your body would be correct. And then for number 2, we have blood glucose levels and body temperature, which are the other two conditions your body maintains. Okay, so all of the control systems in your body need these 3 key features in order to function. We looked at these 3 in previous lessons, but we're just going to gloss over them again now. So you have your receptors. These are the cells that detect changes in the internal or the external environment. So for example, your eyes, your nose, your ears, your skin, your tongue, anything you use to detect your environment. You've then got coordination centers. Now these are going to be places inside your body that receive and process the information from the receptors, and they're going to send out signals and coordinate your body's response to that stimuli. So for example, your brain. And then you've got the effectors. The effectors are either going to be muscles or glands, and they bring about the responses to the stimulus that's been received by the receptors. And these responses are going to restore conditions in the body to optimum levels. Okay, so this is a 6-mark question, so you're going to need to spend at least 6 minutes on it. You need to compare receptors, coordination centers, and effectors. And you can go back to the previous slide if you need help. But give yourself 6 minutes, pause the video, and then come back for the mark scheme. Okay, welcome back. Let's have a look here. Okay, so the receptors are cells that detect changes in your environment, and they can be part of the nervous or hormonal control system. So you get 2 marks for saying those 2 things about the receptors. Your coordination centers are areas that receive and process the information. They coordinate the body's response. They also can be part of the nervous and hormonal systems. And then your effectors, they bring about the response to signal from coordination centers, which may be muscles or glands. Okay, if you missed any of that, it would be a good idea to jot it down so you remember it. Other than that, we're going to move on. Okay, so detecting changes and responding to them involves automatic control systems. And these are going to include nervous responses in your nervous system and chemical responses in your endocrine system. And they may involve many of your body organs. So an example of this is Ramadan, which is a month where Muslims will fast from dawn to sunset, and that means they won't eat anything from sunrise to sunset. So the homeostatic mechanisms inside the body are going to maintain their blood sugar levels, because while they're not eating, they're not ingesting sugar and ions and nutrients. So their body needs to maintain the levels inside their blood. So yeah, their homeostatic mechanisms are going to maintain everything while they are fasting during those days. Okay, let's look at temperature control here. So we have sweat glands in our skin, which is going to release more sweat. This is if we get too hot. The sweat is then going to evaporate, and it removes heat energy from the skin as it evaporates. The blood vessels leading to the skin's capillaries are then going to become wider, so they dilate, and that allows more blood to flow through the skin, and so more heat can be lost because more blood is now going to be close to the surface of the skin. That's why you get like red if you're too hot. Now, if you're too cold, the muscles are going to contract rapidly, and that causes us to shiver. And these contractions need energy from respiration, and some of this is released as heat. The blood vessels leading to the skin are going to become narrower, so they constrict, and that allows less blood to get to the skin, and that conserves heat in the body. Okay, so let's have a look at how things work specifically. We're going to start with water levels. So this image here is showing you what happens when the water level inside your body is too low. So the hypothalamus, which is an area in the brain where the pituitary gland is going to detect that there is too little water in your blood. That's going to trigger the pituitary gland to release a hormone called ADH. That hormone is then going to travel down to the kidneys, and they are going to cause them to maintain the water in your blood by allowing less water through into your urine. So your urine is going to be more concentrated, and because of this, your blood water levels are then going to return to normal because less blood has been evacuated in your urine. If there is too much water, however, the hypothalamus is again going to detect that there's too much water. Your pituitary gland is going to release less of that hormone ADH, and your kidneys are going to allow more water into your urine. So your urine is going to be more dilute, and that is going to allow your blood water levels to return to normal. Okay, so you need to describe 3 ways in which your internal environment may vary, and explain how each of your answers to part A affects your body. Just 4 marks. So you need to pause the video, come back in about 8 minutes for the answers. Okay, welcome back. So, for your first question, you could have any 3 from this list. So you've got temperature increase, temperature decrease, the levels of sunlight, wind levels increasing, and lack of food. Any 3 from those, you would have got 3 marks. And then for temperature increase, your body is going to become warmer. For temperature decrease, that is going to cool your body. The levels of sunlight increasing might burn your skin. The wind levels increasing is going to increase cooling from the skin's surface. And lack of food is going to cause hunger. So hopefully it's quite a straightforward question. Okay, and then this for your assess questions. Your first question is to explain why a person would be more thirsty when the body temperature was 37.6 degrees Celsius than when it was 36.6 degrees Celsius, and that is worth 2 marks. Afterwards, I need you to explain how sweating is going to help control the body temperature, and that is 3 marks. Okay, so mark scheme. So for your first question, you're going to sweat more at 37.6 degrees, and which is going to cause more water loss through the sweat, and then dehydration can then occur. Your blood is going to become more concentrated or more salty. You're going to need to replace the water, which stimulates your hypothalamus to. So your blood water level is going to become too low. Your pituitary gland is going to release ADH, which is going to cause your kidneys to cause less water through in your urine. So your urine is going to be more concentrated, but it's going to keep the water levels in your blood at a more stable level. And then we can just go back to our question: how does sweating cool the body? So when you sweat, water is then lacing kind of like your skin. When that water evaporates, it takes kind of heat with it. So as the sweat evaporates off your skin, it cools your body and it cools your blood. Okay, so that's it for today. Well done, everybody. Yeah, if you need any help from me or Miss Charbonneau, you can always email us. We are just at the other end of an email. Yeah, there's going to be a quiz for you to do, multiple choice, a few exam questions. Give it your best shot. Make sure you use this PowerPoint to help you, because this is going to have a lot of the answers in it. Other than that, yeah, I hope you have a great week, and I'll speak to you again next week.